Hey everybody, so happy spring feasts. Just wanted to share some of my insights of what I've been through, and my hope is that it may help someone else who might be going through some of these same challenges or difficulties. So many of you probably have heard of spring cleaning, and perhaps your mother or grandmother taught you that when spring is about to come, it's time to clean out your house and clean your drapes and wash the windows and prepare for letting go of the winter and bringing in the spring. And that may be true for many of you. And some of us take it a step further and a little bit deeper. And so what I have been doing for the past couple years is preparing for Passover, which means that it is a deep cleaning. And every year that I've done this, I get a little bit more stricter and I learn new skills, some directly from the Orthodox Jewish Sephardic community, and then also just in having the Lord show me certain things along the journey that then shows me that this is what you did, so you understand what others are doing. And then he corrects me and tweaks me and shaves off a layer of the onion to say, this is what I want you to do going forward. So again, it is a journey of discovery. So in this journey, I would normally take out all of the leaven from my house. So what that means is any items that have yeast in them. And in the beginning, it was just the packets of yeast for whatever baking I was doing, the baking soda, the baking powder, those types of things. And it progressed into, taking out obvious things like loaves of bread or any items that had a bread-like quality, anything that was puffed up with leavening agents. And then it became even more stricter, where I looked at all the labels of different canned goods and different boxed, packaged, prepackaged processed foods. And I took all of those things out. And some of the years I actually sold them, and other times I just literally got them out of my house, and whether I put it in a storage locker or I put it at a friend's house or what have you. The point is that I was removing it from my space. And this year in particular, I had just made a large food run, and then it was like, oh crap, I wasn't thinking that Passover is coming. I should have waited. So I really had many items that had all of these kitnayut or chametz, leavening items. And so I was, again, getting all these items out of my house. So that's the first step. The next step is you're doing a lot of deep cleaning. So this means like you're wiping down the ceiling and the walls and the baseboards, and you're vacuuming, you're wiping all the knobs and light switches and handles and all of those things. You're wiping the fronts of the cabinets, the inside of the cabinets, the drawers, all of those things. So you really are doing a deep cleaning. You're taking down your curtains, you're washing them, and then you're steaming them again. So it was a process of just cleaning, clearing out, that sort of thing. And when you're doing this process, again, what's natural that happens in this process is you look at things and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know I had that still. I really don't want this. I don't use this. I can give this away, etc. And then I made boxes and bags for I can give this to the homeless. These are things I really don't want. These are going to go to Goodwill. These things are things that I'm going to sell that I don't want, but I'm going to sell them. So again, you start to get into your sorting phase of going through various amounts of stuff, not just food related, but things in your closet, things in your linen closet, things in your drawers, things that are extras, etc. So during this whole process, and this is the first real deep clean that I've done to my home since my fiance died, which was this June will be 3 years ago. I really was looking at different cabinets and drawers and places and underneath of things and behind furniture and things that I wasn't really looking at because I was in a grieving process. And as I was in a grieving process, I was doing the bare minimum to just kind of keep things at bay and collect the dust bunnies with the vacuum cleaner and wipe all the countertops down, but I wasn't in the phase of taking everything out of cabinets. So during this deep cleaning of clearing out commits for Passover, and the deep spring cleaning, if you'd like to call it that instead, I found another round of all of the lies and deceit and deception of my late fiance. And so what I discovered in this process is all of these places that would have been, quote, normal storage, such as in a cubby or in a cabinet or on a shelf, there were all of these burn marks. There were different drug paraphernalia that was either next to it or inside of a wall, or a hole punched in the wall and these items inside of the wall. So as I discovered all these things, and again, these might have been things behind piles of stacks of towels, for example, or behind, cleaning products that were in a cabinet that I'm using the front of what's in the cabinet. I'm not really looking to the back. So the whole point is when you do this cleaning process, you're taking everything out and then you're inspecting, and as you're wiping down the ceiling and the walls of every cabinet, I'm discovering, oh my gosh, there's a hole in this cabinet. What is going on here? And then as I would investigate, I would find the burn marks, I would find the drug paraphernalia, and then I started to understand where more things were stashed for him to maintain his drug habit without me even knowing, because I'm not a drug addict. I don't think these things, therefore I don't think like a drug addict would think. So when I discovered all these things, it was like, again, just a cabinet after a drawer, after a desk, after, you move away a piece of furniture to wipe down that whole wall, and then I find, head banging holes, and then all those walls had to be patched up with spackling and repainted, etc. And then when I went into my bathrooms, the ceiling lights and, the sides of the toilet and all of these various things were tampered with and were damaged because of his drug addiction problem and his insistence on having all of these things in his possession close by wherever he was sitting. And many of these things were found on this particular side of the room where he had his music studio in my space. So in my apartment, I had a designated space where he would come and do music. So the whole point is, there were many things and pieces of furniture that were pushed in front of that. And because I had emptied out storage lockers and I was going through storage lockers and selling all these items of storage lockers for the past 2 years, it wasn't easy for me to get to the walls per se. And so as I sold all these items in the past couple of years, and then that space became freer, and then I started to look at the walls, I was like, wow, these walls are kind of banged up. There's some fly fishermen in the same stream right here. I started to notice like, hey, maybe I need to do a new paint on this wall. And then as I discovered other things around it, and how he had moved furniture out of the way to then cover up all these other damages, I found that there was plumbing damage, there was floors that were popping up, there were things that were broken that he never communicated that they were broken, and they were in this other room, so it wasn't in my normal space. So bottom line, I discovered all these things that were broken and they needed to be repaired. So the good thing about spring cleaning is that when you do a deep clean like this, you will begin to see where a drug addict in your life has damaged your property. And it's a great opportunity to move those things out of the way and to repair whatever has been broken, and to be able to start with this new season of the new year in the Hebrew calendar and the Messianic calendar, to say, okay, this is a new year. I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to repair all these things because I'm moving into the new year with a new mindset, and everything that the devil has tainted or taken away or tormented me about in the past, it is going under my feet. I'm stepping on the snake, and I am reclaiming my authority in Jesus, in Yeshua, and I am having my victory over all of these things within my land that were broken. So again, this is about declaring. This is also about doing the work that's necessary. I don't just look at the things and say, oh, poor me, these things happen to me, I'm just whining about it. No, it's actually getting the help that's necessary. It's physically doing the work myself along with other help, and it's repairing all of these things that were broken. And after things have been replenished, and the floor was fixed, and the plumbing was fixed, and the fixtures were fixed, and the walls were painted, and the curtains were hung, and all of my space was prepared for Passover with a very long table to be able to receive the guests that showed, and to be able to again reclaim my home, my sanctuary, my space. There was a major shift, not just in preparing the space, but also within myself, because my home is an extension of myself, okay? And as I went into the deep cleaning modes of cleaning out the refrigerator and cleaning out my stove and cleaning all the cabinets, all of these areas of neglect and of brokenness were shown to me so that they could be repaired. And that is how the Lord works. He works by showing you what is hidden, and then he shows you what needs to come to the surface and what action steps need to be taken so that you are now having a rock solid foundation of starting over, okay? Because those lingering things that were in my environment were in some way trying to distract me without me knowing that they were there, but they were there. And once they were removed and once they were repaired, the environment is a comfortable place to be in once again. My home, my place has been restored to the sanctuary that I want it to be, okay? Now, as that is restored, the other part of this message is to bring forth warnings, okay? So I'm gonna do that in the next video, so check it out.